Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Chulapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Monday, April 11th of 2016. Let's take a look at today's headlines. And in today's Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha said he was pleased with the growing interest in reading amongst Thai people. According to the government spokesperson, Major General Sansern Kaew-Kamneut, a recent survey by the National Statistical Office of Thailand, or NSO, and the Thailand Knowledge TK Park has found that Thai people in 2015 spent an average of 66 minutes per day reading. Kids under age 6 had more time to read. Teenagers were the keenest readers at 94 minutes per day, and children and working age people both spent around 60 minutes per day with the reading material. The findings indicated a significant improvement in Thai people's reading habits compared to 2013, when Thai people spent only 37 minutes per day on reading. Major General Sansern said General Prayut had asked the Ministries of Public Health and Social Development and Human Security, as well as other relevant agencies, to encourage parents to read books to their children as early as the 3rd trimester of pregnancy to instill in their children positive attitudes towards reading. The Prime Minister has also called on members of the public to celebrate Songkran Festival in an appropriate way and uphold the core values of the Thai culture. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew-Kamneut said that the Thai Prime Minister had expressed concerns about people's behavior during Songkran celebrations. He said Thais must maintain the core values of their culture through traditional activities such as pouring water on Buddha statues and the Rot Nam Dam Hua ceremony to pay respect to older relatives. General Prayut went on to say that Songkran should be celebrated in a polite way, while people should avoid wearing revealing clothes in order to prevent sexual harassment when joining water-throwing activities. He said Thai people should make good impressions for foreign visitors, allowing them to see the true meaning of Songkran. According to the spokesperson, the government is planning to organize several activities nationwide to promote and preserve the Thai culture. Many provinces have started Songkran festivities with local culture featured in the celebrations. Up north, the friendship between Thailand and Laos is the theme of this year's event. The governor of Chiang Rai province and the chief of Pak Tha district of Laos have presided over the opening ceremony of the Songkran festival at the Thai-Lao border in Vieng Can district in Chiang Rai. The activities included a water pouring ceremony for the elderly, a beauty contest, a traditional drum contest, and performances by Thai and Lao artists. The objectives are to strengthen diplomatic relations, trade and tourism between the two countries. In Phitsanulok province, meanwhile, a large number of villagers and visitors have gathered at the Rat Burana temple to perform a religious rite together. Then they took part in the sandcastle competition and enjoyed fun-filled performances. Down south, Songkhla Zoo is launching an activity inviting animal and nature lovers to celebrate the Thai New Year by releasing turtles into the wild on April 13th. The event will also feature traditional rites and a variety of entertainment activities. And as the holiday festival approaches, Don Mueang International Airport has seen a greater passenger volume. Makers travelling out of Bangkok to visit their hometowns during the Thai New Year. All passengers have been advised to arrive at the airport 2 to 3 hours ahead of their flight schedules. Following the increase in the number of tourists, airport security is now on a 24-hour standby for untoward incidents. The highest number of passengers is expected on April 12th, the last working day before the long holiday. Airports of Thailand has asked the Bangkok Mass Transit Authority to increase the frequency of bus services during this period. Meanwhile, public van stations surrounding the Victory Monument are bustling with holiday makers heading to other provinces to celebrate the Songkran festival. Most of the van passengers at the Victory Monument are travelling to seaside provinces in the eastern region. More passengers using inter-provincial public vans are expected to increase from the same period last year, following the government's stimulus measures for the Thai New Year period. More northeast-bound passengers are expected from April 11 till 12th. Tickets to northeastern provinces will not be sold in advance and no vans will be added. Military officers have been deployed to van stations to facilitate and provide security for the public. So do plan your travelling time well during the holidays. Now the Revenue Department believes the tax deduction campaign recently approved by the government will push up public spending during the Songkran festival. Director General of the Revenue Department, Prasong Poontanet, has disclosed that the campaign, which runs from April 9 till the 17th, enables holidaymakers to deduct up to 15,000 baht from the taxable income. The incentives apply to food, tour packages and hotel rooms offered by the VAT-registered operators. The campaign is expected to increase the rate of spending during the Songkran holiday up to 10 billion baht. The Cabinet has also approved a plan to extend the previous tax deduction campaign, offering vacationers the same tax deduction amount to the end of the year in order to promote domestic tourism and also boost spending. The offer, however, does not cover tobacco, alcoholic beverages, petrol or natural gas. Motor vehicles are also excluded. Consumers eligible for both two campaigns can have their taxable income reduced by up to 30,000 baht. However, taxpayers are required to ask for invoices as a claims reference. Meanwhile, the economic slowdown and drought have been blamed for sluggish trade during the Songkran festival. Clothing wholesalers in Bangkok have complained about a drop in floral shirts sales. Bo Bay Market is still a must-come for clothes retailers as ever. However, what is different from the previous year is that most of the shops have earned less than before, despite the arrival of the Songkran celebrations. Wholesalers assume the campaign for water conservation and the economic slowdown are the causes of their declining income. They believe that Songkran floral shirts, which are bestsellers, will be out of favor with the public when the holiday ends. Moving on to our next story, the governor of Kamphaeng Phet province has declared disaster zones in 6 districts, while residents are being urged to conserve water in the face of worsening drought. Farmers in Ko Sampi Nakhon sub-district are struggling to pump water into their drip irrigation systems to save their cassava plantations as water in the community canal is rapidly depleting. Mueang, Huay Rat, Khu Mueang, Phapla Chai, Huay Rat, Krasang and Nang Rong districts have been declared disaster zones. Water trucks have been sent out to affected areas to provide water to villagers throughout the dry season. Residents are advised against using a large amount of water in the water splashing tradition during the Songkran festival. The chairperson of the Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, has given strong assurance that the public will not be confused by the additional question to be put forward in the public referendum on the draft constitution. CDC chairperson Michai Richupan said he was confident that the additional question, which has recently been approved by the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, will not confuse members of the public once they go to the polls. The question will ask whether senators should be allowed to select a prime minister. Mr. Michai declined to give any comments on criticisms that allowing appointed senators to select prime minister would lead to political crisis in the future. He said that the government does not forbid the people or political parties to voice their thoughts on the draft charter, but only wants all sides to give constructive comments that will actually help the country move forward. He also warned people not to attempt any kind of deliberate misinformation, especially on the draft charter. As for the National Reform Steering Assembly, or NRSA, it said it is not concerned by dissent regarding the additional question to be included in the public referendum. First Deputy Speaker of the NRSA, Alongkorn Polabut, has remarked that the expression of people's opinions is a good sign, as it shows that democracy is gradually returning to the country. He said people should not confuse disagreement with segregation, but should look at it in a more constructive manner. In response to criticism that the question may be too difficult for some people to understand, Mr. Olongkorn said he believes the Thai people have a clearer understanding of the draft charter and the referendum than they did in the past, and that one should never assume or judge others' ability to understand. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. Up next on Newsline, natural gas from Myanmar's Yetagan field has been suspended for maintenance during the Songkran holidays. Stay with us.
Pad Thai, created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
ASEAN Political and Security Community. Prevent being deceived. Prevent being forced. Prevent being injured. The problem of human trafficking in children, women, and labor has been increasingly severe. Thailand and the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights are working together to get rid of these problems in order to be fully accepted by the international community. One vision, one identity, one community.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. A PTT executive has reported that natural gas supply from the Yetagan field in Myanmar has been suspended due to maintenance work during the Songkran holidays, while Thailand's overall energy production will not be affected. PTT Public Company Limited Senior Executive Vice President of Gas Business Unit Nopadon Pinsupha has revealed that the supply of natural gas from the Yetagan gas field in Myanmar has been suspended from April 10 till the 18th due to scheduled maintenance work. The gas suspension will reduce the nation's total gas supply by 570 million cubic feet per day. No disruption to the country's energy production is expected, as this time of the year does not see high energy demand. Maintenance operations are being carried out to improve the instruments that maintain the level of gas supply in accordance to the contract. During the suspension, PTT will allocate more natural gas from other sources and distribute reserve LNG gas supplies to ensure continuous operations at power plants and private consumers are not affected. To ensure the efficient use of resources, the general public is encouraged to conserve energy during this period. In other global news, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised all necessary help to the southern state of Kerala as it copes with the aftermath of a catastrophic temple fire. A fire and explosion during a fireworks display to mark the start of the local Hindu New Year killed 100 people and injured more than 330. Speaking at a hospital in the state capital, the Prime Minister said his government was ready to step in with assistance. Kerala is studded with temples managed by rich and powerful trusts that often flout local regulations. Each year, temples hold fireworks display, often competing to stage the most spectacular ones, with judges who decide the winners. Residents said the blaze started when a cracker fell onto a shed where the fireworks were stored, sparking a string of powerful explosions that blew the roof off the temple's administrative block and caused another building to collapse. Kerala's Home Minister Ramesh Chennithala reported that 60 of the 100 dead had been identified, while the number of people admitted to hospitals in Kollam and the state capital has risen to 383. The U.S. Navy is leading a 30-nation maritime exercise across the Middle Eastern waters, which it says will help protect international trade routes against possible threats, including from Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. The exercise, which is partly being held in the Arabian Gulf, comes as tensions run high between Gulf Arab countries and Iran over its role in the region, including its support for President Bashar al-Assad in Syria's civil war, for the Houthis in the Yemen conflict, and for Hezbollah in Lebanon. The International Mine Countermeasures exercise started on Monday with a symposium in Bahrain, where the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet is based, partly as a bulwark against Iran. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry had praised security cooperation with Bahrain on Thursday during a visit to the Gulf monarchy, calling it a critical security partner. U.S. President Barack Obama will attend a summit in Riyadh on April 21st with the Gulf Cooperation Council states, which include Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman and Bahrain, on Iran's role in the region. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif in Tehran said Iran will never negotiate over its missile program, as it is a matter of national defense. The minister told a joint press conference with his visiting Estonian counterpart Marina Kaljuran that the U.S. Department of State knows that the missile issue and defense capabilities of the Islamic Republic are not open to negotiations. Secretary of State John Kerry had previously said the United States was open to a new arrangement with Iran in order to resolve the issues pertaining to the country's missile program. The White House remains critical of Iran's missile program, which it deems as a threat to both regional and world peace. However, Iran said its missile program is totally for peaceful purposes and that no measure can strip the Islamic Republic of its legitimate and legal right to boost its defensive capabilities and safeguard its own national security. The resignation of the Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk did not take Ukrainians by surprise, with many residents in the capital, Kiev, being cautious in their forecast of how the situation in the country might change when a new government is sworn in. Ukrainian Prime Minister Yatsenyuk tendered his resignation on Sunday, paving the way for Western-backed coalition parties to nominate an ally of President Petro Poroshenko to try to form a more stable government. Yatsenyuk survived a no-confidence motion in February, but political infighting and graft scandals have fractured the ruling coalition and further delayed the disbursement of aid under a $17.5 billion International Monetary Fund or IMF bailout program. A number of foreign animal keepers have come to China to learn how to feed giant pandas, an animal unique to China, as more pandas have been loaned to other countries for cooperative research on their reproduction. Brenda Vaugh and Marga Gerritsen are panda keepers from the Netherlands who are spending 1 month to study panda keeping at the China Conservation and Research Center for the Giant Panda in southwest China's Sichuan province. They started by learning to cook meals for pandas.
For us, it is very important to be here because we worked with a lot of animals, also bears, but not with giant pandas. We are welcome here to come and learn from the people who know everything about pandas. So we become a very good keeper at home in the Netherlands, and we really want to thank everybody for this opportunity.
China has carried out cooperation projects on giant pandas with 12 zoos in 10 countries over the past 20 years and loaned more than 30 pandas overseas. The 2 pandas loaned to the Netherlands are accommodated by the Awahan Zoo in Rennen. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please write to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook by typing in NNT in the search box, and you'll find out more about the news happening throughout the day. And our website, by the way, it's thainews.prd.go.th/en. That is another channel which you can keep abreast of things happening around in the country. Today, we're going to say goodbye with some pictures of a snow portrait made in Russia of Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. I'm Cholapansa Narula. Newsline will be back tomorrow, same time, right here on NBT. As for now, Swadee Ka. Have a great one.